Hey, welcome into SportsMap Houston. I'm Brandon Strange. I'm joined by Josh Jordan. He's the editor of SportsMapHouston.com, co-producer of our YouTube channel, and the host of Moneyline Sunday mornings at 10 a.m. on ESPN 97.5 and 92.5 FM. Click that subscribe button, by the way. Thank you. Hey, Josh, we found out this week via Manav Gupta's sports podcast, by the way, an 18-year-old with a Mark Berman-esque scoop here. We found out that Lance McCullers' rehab on that forearm strain he suffered in the White Sox series last postseason is behind schedule. What are your reactions to hearing this news, bud?
Man, a little bit of concern. You know, this Lance injured this back in October, and the fact that he may not be ready by April, you know, obviously that is a concern, especially a guy that's, you know, had a Tommy John surgery, you know, on that same arm. So, you know, I'm worried. And then, you know, Lance said that they kind of played it off like it wasn't as bad as it really was in that interview. And, you know, that it was actually, you know, that tendon was off the bone a little bit. So, boy, that's scary when you hear that. But, you know, overall, you know, I just want to make sure he's ready to go to start the season, you know, play it safe. The other thing that occurs to me is, I understand why they gave Verlander that extra year, that extension to bring him back, because the Astros knew, you know, this was a little more severe than everybody else knew. So it makes sense that they got a little insurance just in case. That
does make sense. My reaction is cool. I mean, it sucks he's not going to be ready in time. But what I think is good is he didn't need surgery, which is good. The grade of the sprain was clearly worse than the team let on. But I just think, you know what, to your point, safety first. Verlander blew out his elbow trying to ramp up during that COVID-shortened season. And that season, other pitchers also suffered setbacks trying to ramp up on an abbreviated timetable. You know what? Take your time, Lance. They all should. I don't really care about some arbitrary date of when the season starts. What matters is what happens at the end of the season, that everybody's healthy. That's what's most important to me. But I will tell you this, is when I heard him talk about the lockout being one of the reasons that he wasn't able to consistently rehab, the thought ran through my head that, we were talking about it, that, this seems like it's, some posturing on his part. And then you made an interesting point, which was...
He is the players rep for the Astros. So I think that's kind of a savvy move as the Astros player rep to kind of get a dig in against MLB in the lockout. Like, that makes a lot of sense to me why Lance would position it that way. I think it's pretty smart on his part. And let's face it, just in general, MLB has treated the Astros like crap. So there's no love lost right there with McCullers and MLB. So it makes a lot of sense that he took the position he did.
Now, and I will say this too, is in reading some of the early feedback on this, and I know, fans can be, a-holes from time to time. But when reading fan feedback on this, what jumped out at me was maybe he misread the room on this, because the optics right now, this lockout, unless you're dug in one side or the other, the optics really, I think for many people are, this is millionaires fighting with billionaires. And I know, and it's more nuanced than that, especially when it comes to these minor leaguers that they're fighting for as well. But there doesn't seem to be a lot of sympathy from the public when you say, oh, I wasn't able to, access the facilities, even though that may have truth. Do you think he misread the room a little bit?
Judging by the comments in our Facebook page, a little bit, that's a lot of the feedback was, hey, you just signed this extension, you have millions of dollars, you should be able to go into pocket and pay for your own rehab, pay for your own trainers. That a lot of people even called him lazy, which I don't agree with that. I think that's just ridiculous. I mean, if you look at Lance McCullers, that guy cares about being in shape and taking care of his body. Yes. Nobody should doubt that. So I think that's just harsh. I think that is, like you said, it's that millionaires versus billionaires thing where fans, they're tired of hearing it, so they jump to those conclusions. But no, I don't think that's correct, that this is Lance McCullers' fault, that this has taken a little longer to come back from than everybody would have hoped.
No, he dude plays with as much passion as anybody in the game. We're all tired of this lockout. I think that's the one thing we can all agree on. We're all ready to get back to Astros baseball. Please, players, owners, let's just get to it. Let's get some. I'm so tired of talking about Texans.
Yes, and take your time, Lance. We need you at the end of the season. We love Lance McCullers. We want him to be healthy. We got him locked up for several years. He was in the Cy Young conversation last year. Let's just get him back healthy, and let's go back to the World Series.
Amen.